great Scott Smarty. I hope you've seen Back to the Future, so you know exactly what I'm talking about. Legs complete. This is Inception. This is back to front. Legs complete. You are seeing the final result of Smart Post Leg Sesh. Now I'm going to take you through a walkthrough styling. I quite like them, being, you know, like a voiceover. And you're going to watch me train my legs, whereby my whole aim and goal now is to gain more muscle tissue by consuming more food for a long, long period of time and progressively move more weight, gain strength, thus build more tissue. So the first movement I'm going to show you today is pendulum, moving on to the leg press. I'm ruined, my knees are achy, I'm tired, I'm sweaty, my taint is moist. It sounded like I was about to do a poem like roses are red, violets are blue, my taint is moist. Doesn't quite rhyme. Anyway, moving from the leg press onto walking lunge, onto extension, onto adductor, abductor and calf raise. I know a lot of people quite like doing calf raises at the beginning of a workout because they come out with this bullshit like, do it at the beginning of your workout because it's, you know, you might forget at the end of a leg workout because it you know, it's a bit trivial and you're a bit tired at the end of a workout. You might not want to. No. If your aim is to build big fucking calves, you either train them at the beginning, the middle, or the end. It doesn't matter. Train them hard, train them whenever, but train them frequent if it's a priority for you. Okay? I'm now going to go home and consume my post-workout nutrition, which is some cereal and some protein. I'm off. Here comes a voiceover. Enjoy. Boys and girls, here we go. Voiceover time. Right, leg day. So, we began the workout with pendulum squats, and I have done for the last 2 or 3 weeks. But first, as you can see here, this is not a pendulum squat. This is a leg extension. The reason why I'm doing this is my 3rd week into pendulum squats. I never ever compound lift, i.e. squat, bench or dead at the very beginning of the workout. I've tried it because I was told to. My knees are now shagged, they're shot and they hurt a lot. So this week, i.e. yesterday, I opted to whip out some leg extensions, just super light, not concentrating too much here, looking around the gym, warming up my kneecaps as you can see here, just driving some blood through into my quadriceps, just warming up that synovial fluid in my joints, and just to get a little bit of a mind-muscle connection into my quads. Whereas the last 2 weeks, I've walked straight from walking on a treadmill, straight onto the pendulum squat to warm up through that exact movement pattern, ready for my working sets. And it clearly doesn't work for me. Now I'm going to show you now a nice warm-up. It's really good. What could you call it? Warm-up, mobility exercise, whatever you want to call this. It's a wall sit. We've all done it through circuit sessions. We've all done it to try and bet and mate how long you can sit against a wall for. This is really good isometric hold, as you can see, right for your kneecaps. Now, your quads, your glutes, your hammies, your calves, all of your lower body are being worked all at the same time. You're in a squatting position, isometrically, meaning your muscle is in a contracted state, but paused. It's not being moved. Does that make sense? Your joints aren't moving through a contracted state. So you're able to really focus and get a great mind-muscle connection through that quad ready. And it just warms up your legs. It's really nice for your kneecaps. I find it anyway. So if you have trouble with patella tendonitis or any knee pain, try some wall sits. Do a couple of sets, 30 to 40 second hold. Now, pendulum squat. If you've used this, you know how it feels. It feels as if you're at the fairground. It's a great movement to be able to do rather than like a free barbell squat. Barbell squats are the king, of course. They're really good. But a pendulum squat, your back is supported, your shoulders are supported. You're in this locked-in, anchored position, which is bloody awesome. I'm just knocking out a feeder set here. With just 20 kilos on the machine. For me, this machine is incredibly humbling. I can't use a lot on here. Again, I'm a bodybuilder. I don't really care what weight I lift. I am solely in the gym to look better for me, for a competition, whatever it might be, for a holiday, for a wedding. I train to look good and in turn makes me feel great. So I couldn't really give a toss about what weight I lift. This is my 3rd week in. And I think I'm up 10 kilos on this machine, which is really good for me, especially coming out of a competition time. I'm 6 weeks out of a comp, so strength is slowly building. It's a tough bloody exercise. I've only got, what, 10, 20, 30, 35 kilograms on here, whereas I think I started at 20 3 weeks ago. So I'm really happy. First set, we are opting for 10 to 15 repetitions, so in that higher rep range, get some blood in there, really, really, you know, drive some volume into those quads. And then my second set, we up the weight by, I think, 5 kilogram, if I can remember correctly, and we went for 6 to 8. But yeah, it's a very, very tough exercise. If you've done it before, you know exactly what I mean. It's very blowy, very puffy. It's a great way to build up your stamina. Movement number 2, exercise numero 2. We are going for the leg press. Super simple. Again, not tons of weight. Repetition wise, I'm aiming for 15 to 20. As you can see, I'm trying to display here where my feet are. I want to accentuate that knee bend. If you want to build bigger quads, you need to really accentuate that knee flexion and extension. The more your knees bend, the better. That's where your quads are going to grow, okay? So all this half-assed, half-rep, leg press, single leg nonsense, where it's just a tiny bit of movement, ain't going to do shit, okay? It isn't going to do anything. Drop all that weight off those bars and really get those legs moving throughout the full range of motion, okay? Do what your legs are supposed to do, okay? Forget about the weight. Leave your ego in the fucking boot of your car and move weight effectively, okay? Use accuracy over aggression, okay? Use a bit of aggression. You can see in my face I'm working hard. It's tough. Now, from my warm-up feeder set, I've now gone another 25 kilo aside with a 10 and a 5. So you're looking at, what, 35, 40 kilos added from my feeder set per side. So that's 80 kilos, roughly. As you can see here, the range of motion is effective in terms of its quality. It's nice. I like to see that. My feet are nice and low on the plate, and I'm really pushing through my quads. I'm lowering that weight through my muscle. Just look at how my legs are moving. Can you see I'm slowly allowing that weight to really like fall into my quad muscles? I can feel it in my glutes. I can feel my calves burn through this. I'm not just trying to shift a load of weight. I'm not a power lifter. Of course, more weight on the bar over time with effective nutrition and rest will equate to more muscle mass, progressively overloading in weight. But typically as a bodybuilder, we don't really care what weight we lift. We just care about how we look, okay? And how we perform, of course. As you can see, lots of swear words. It was hard work, man. Hard work. Again, 15 to 20 reps on my first set, and then we will decrease the weight and go for about 20 to 25. Movement number 3, I opted for a walking lunge instead of a split squat. I quite like the dynamic of a walking lunge. I don't know if anyone agrees with me here. I quite like knowing that I'm moving from A to B. I don't know why, but a split squat for me just doesn't feel... I just don't really like it. I do them. They're hard. Lunge is equally as difficult, I believe. I was just whipping out some bodyweight lunges over to the rack to grab a fixed, I believe is a 50 kilo bar. So all I do is sling this baby onto my shoulders. First set, we were going for... I keep on saying we, but I'm training alone here. Aiming for 15 steps one way, turn around, and 15 steps the other way. So 30 reps in total. And then I increase the weight with a heavier bar, which we'll see in a moment, for 8 steps a piece. So 8 steps one way and 8 steps the other direction. Take a look at how I'm falling through each rep again, just like on the leg press. When I'm about to descend and I'm about to drop down into the step, you can actually see that I'm allowing the weight to fall through my legs. There's no finicky movements. There's no dropping hard, slamming my feet on the floor, standing up quickly. There's a momentum, but a consistent momentum through each and every repetition. I can actually feel this through my bloody quads, and it's hard work. It's a lot of cardio with this as well. You can really see them, you know, it turns mice to men. Real men lunge, real men split squat, or real women hard nuts. It's hard work. It's tough, but I quite like a lunge. I've been lunging since I've stepped foot in the gym. You see this, with Ronnie Coleman and Metro Flex outside with a fixed bar of 20 kilos a side, or even bloody 40, 60 kilo a side. It's tough. So if at any point you ever wanted to opt for a lunge instead of a split squat, if you're able to use the same weight, or in some way use half the weight but double the reps, so really getting the same work in, you can do that. Don't worry about that at all. You're not failing or hurting anyone's feelings for changing things up. Movement number 4, quad extension. Back on the extension machine, but for working sets. So, first set, 15 reps. Second set, 20 reps. Third set, 25. Weight-wise, we kept the same. I kept the weight exactly the same. Now, through this exercise, I quite like to kick my feet forwards before pushing the weight up. I like to almost imagine my feet are pushing forwards before I kick upwards. Does that make any sense? I didn't really want to show you too much of the leg extension because we all know this movement. I don't need to show you it too much. Exercise number 5. As you can see, end of a workout, I don't know if anyone is the same as me. You start flagging when you're about 5th movement in towards the end. You're kind of like, right, I've done my big movements, I've done my compounds. The rest of this stuff doesn't really matter. I have the same mindset as you, where you're kind of like, you've done your chest bits, you've got triceps to do, like, oh, it's hard, right? But a good slap of the face like I've just done there, and a good little focus up always helps. 3 working sets of 12 to 15 on the adductor machine. I'm a big advocate of these chafe makers, I call them. I've got great quad thickness all the way up through the top of my quads into my groin, and even from my back shots when I'm on stage. You can see my adductors when I'm checking in with coach or I'm wearing trunks. My adductors have grown massively because I have consistently, religiously hit these adductors every week for over 18 months. And I'm stacking this machine right now for good reps. I actually have to have someone hold a plate, which you're about to see in a moment, but on the abductor machine. Good facial expressions, Matthew. Oh yeah, I also thought I'd burst a blood vessel. Oh well, that means you did a good set, eh? Like I mentioned, on the abductor, here we go. Oh, only joking. Silly exercise that. I have to always grab someone because these machines, I think it's Nautilus. There's these little funky, or Star Trek, these funky clips. It's not a pin-loaded machine, so you can't use a gym pin. So you can't add any additional weight, i.e. plate. So I have to get someone to finger a plate whilst I'm performing my set. But I hold my hands up and not hold the bars here. Why? For some strange reason, I end up not cheating, but I end up really tugging on the handles, and I don't really feel my glutes. If I hold my hands in between my body here, and I really kick my knees out, as you can see, this is painful work. This is my 3rd and final set of 12 to 15. I'm really squeezing my glutes at the top and allowing that constant tension. And final exercise of the session, calves. Like I mentioned, as long as you hit your calves, you don't need to do it at the beginning just because you think you're going to forget them. If you think you're going to fucking forget them, that's just bloody terrible. That's just, yeah, please do them at the beginning if you're going to forget them or walk out of the gym, but you shouldn't be doing that. Now, if I'm honest with you guys, I'm super proud of my calves. I have been knocking these babies out of the park multiple times a week for over 18 months, and I believe they're finally growing, and I'm getting some good shape to my calf muscles. A donkey calf raise, a seated calf raise, or a standing. For me personally, a standing calf raise is superior. Personally, for me, my biomechanics, my body, how I feel. Do I suggest doing a calf raise in a pair of sliders? No. However, this is the first time I did it this week, and if I'm honest with you, I can really feel the weight through my feet. I can get a good squeeze at the top and a good range of motion on the bottom. I do suggest, after every working set on your calf raise, I suggest that you hold a stretch, whether that's a weighted stretch, whether that's, a DC style stretching, whether that's under load or just a body weight stretch. I suggest you always stretch after a set. That's going to really drive more workload And really, you imagine you're working a muscle tissue and you're able to really stretch it and hold that fucking stretch and just cause more damage. If you do that for pretty much every muscle group, you're a winner. Now, that is enough from me. Super sweet, super short, super concise. That is a walkthrough on now my leg sessions. I will be, as I've mentioned, move and jig it about a little bit and probably move quad extensions and maybe a hamstring curl that I do later in the week. Whack that in on that session. Remove calves, do my calves another day. And so that allows my knees and my lower body to be super, super warm before I progress onto the pendulum squat. Because through this off season, I would really, 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 really like to focus on 5 good exercises to really progress on, i.e., a rack pull or a block pull from below the kneecap, a pendulum squat, an incline Smith press. Anything else? Yes, Viking press, shoulder Viking press that you see on the strongman competitions. I'm starting to use that now on my push days, and I'm really enjoying it. It's really fun. I feel as if I'm a Viking. I feel as if I'm a strongman. It's engaging. It's fun. It's enjoyable. And hey, what's the point in going into the gym and doing all this shit and doing stuff you do not like and you dislike, and you're not engaged? It's boring. Stuff that. So, and one more, maybe maybe a dip. So a dip, a Viking press, Smith machine incline press for chest, a block pull, and the pendulum squat. 5 exercises that I'm going to heavily religiously focus on and get stronger. And if I can progressively add more weight on that bar, eat more food and rest up, I'm going to grow. Simple as that. That is enough from me. Thank you very much for watching. Be sure to subscribe, hit that like button, comment down below. I'm going to bring you my next workout. I'm going to be doing a mini series of this just to show you like a little breakdown of how my training is looking, and then I'm going to be knocking plenty of videos out. It's been a while since I've seen you. I will do an update on how I've been since the comp, how I looked on the comp, all the comp stuff. I know I haven't been on it a while, but I will explain as to why. I have no excuse, and nor do I have to explain to anybody. Anyway, I'm going to shoot. I need to eat. It's 22:07 in the evening. I haven't eaten anything yet. I know. Silly Billy, it's rest day. I quite like fasting on a rest day, but not till this late. It is caught up on me. I'm going to turn my laptop off now. I'm going to say goodnight. Please subscribe, like, comment down below, and I'll see you in the next video. Ta-ra!